What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Appleboys podcast. I'm Josh, here with Cory. What's up, Cory?
Hello again after a short break. I'm Cory.
It's a short break, but it felt like a very long break. What's up, Rob?
Tonight I am horny and unimpeded.
Like to hear that. Should be a good night. What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, it's Jimmy. What's up, Josh?
I don't really know what to say because this is the first time you haven't corrected me when I've said your name and you've given me your other name.
What other name? Brad?
Brad.
I was thinking James.
Oh, yeah. I'm over that.
So I have always had a very dry sense of humor, and because of that, I have a great appreciation for dad jokes. And once I became a father, the appreciation for dad jokes escalated to a point where I'm like a mega dad joke god, I think.
Did it reach critical mass?
It did. But have you guys ever been saying something and then you didn't intend for it to be a joke, but halfway through saying it, you realize that it's going to be a joke and you find it very funny and your tone changes and you get very excited?
Yeah, without question.
Absolutely.
I've been there.
So we weren't able to record last weekend, unfortunately, because Cory had a trip to Washington, D.C., and I had to go to South Carolina for a funeral. But on my way back from South Carolina, I was driving and coming back. Typically, you go on the interstate through the mountains, but they're doing some road work in the mountains right now. And so the GPS routed me down into the gully through a small town in North Carolina. And as I'm driving down the road in this small town, there is a very, very large, very steep hill. When I say steep, I mean at least as steep as Rob's driveway.
I was just about to say, is it as steep as Rob's driveway? 'Cause
It's really not that bad.
get the fuck out of here.
It's a very, very extreme angle, and it's a very large hill, and there are cows grazing on this hill. And every time I've driven by it, I have been shocked that cows can be on this hill because it looks like the slightest gust of wind would send them all tumbling down.
Does it look like only mountain goats should be up there?
Yes, but they're full-size cows. They're very precarious. And so we're driving and talking about the precarious cows on the side of the hill. And I say, I bet they have really... And then I stopped. I didn't really stop, but it felt like I stopped because I realized what I was about to say. And my eyes got really big and my voice got louder. And I said, I bet they have really strong calves.
No one laugh.
Sorry, I'm already laughing.
It's so funny.
I kind of zoned out.
I'm a terrific storyteller.
That was wonderful.
And you're such an asshole. Fuck you, Jimmy.
Yeah, it was mean.
Fuck you, Rob. You said the same thing.
No, I didn't.
You said no one laugh.
Yeah, because we shouldn't encourage such behavior.
Get out of here. That's fucking comedy right there.
Thanks, Cory.
No
I appreciate
problem.
you
I'm
having
here
me
for
back.
you, buddy. That's why we're the same age.
That's true. That's
Boomers unite.
True. Yeah.
Yep.
True.
So, do we want to just pants down, get into it, or what?
I mean, a fucking global escalated situation is occurring right now. And while the Appleboys doesn't try to get political or like to get political,
It's maybe World War III.
I don't think we have a choice.
There's
We
no
kinda have
politics
talk
to
about
be
it.
had here. There's one opinion that's correct.
Well,
unless you're Rob's mom.
About to
Yeah.
say,
Unless you're Rob's mom.
Isn't Putin just trying to get his country back?
It's true.
that's a direct quote from my mother, by the way.
Oof.
Oh boy.
She's trying to reclaim what's theirs,
Shout out Rob's mom.
Yeah, for real.
So, Jimmy, why don't you walk us through the conflict? What's going on right now, and why is it happening?
Really put me on the spot here, but I have been following it very closely. So I just want to express my first when I figured out that Russia had first declared war on Ukraine, I was in the basement of this house, and I'm going to start at a lighthearted note here. I acquired a new Delta 8 device, and Rob and I had inhaled this device. Some would say too many times.
We were testing it.
We were testing it, and Rob was in a different world. But as I was leaving that night, I was checking Twitter, and I was like, oh shit, Russia actually declared war on Ukraine. They're starting now. This is happening. And Rob didn't really respond because even though the news was that significant, Rob didn't have any emotion. So I was immediately very concerned about Rob's well-being. And then the next morning, he was like, "Hey man, I kind of forgot that Russia declared war on Ukraine. You told me that last night. I'm just figuring that out this morning."
Yeah, it was bad. I was in a different world, and then I woke up and wish I was still in that other world because the news fucking sucks. Like, nothing good can come from
Was that
this.
Thursday night?
Thursday or Friday, yeah.
It might have been Wednesday night.
Might have been. I'm not sure if the day is especially relevant. Either way,
I was still in DC, so it was not Thursday or Friday.
it was definitely Wednesday.
Wednesday night. Got it. So Wednesday night, Russia doesn't formally declare war on Ukraine. They say that they're sending peacekeeping troops into specific areas, which is their way of saying our troops are coming in, right? So everyone's freaking out. I don't think Ukraine had any idea that Russia would actually do this, because I think if they had any itching that this was a real possibility, I think they would have strengthened their alliances and given in to things like NATO or had some alliance. But they currently have zero military alliances with anyone whatsoever. Of course we're contributing lots of arms and money, and so are a bunch of other countries.
Especially after Russia was like, "Fuck you, world."
Right.
I think my favorite thing about this whole conflict is Russia threatening Finland and Sweden and saying, "Hey, if you join NATO, you're going to have some severe consequences."
Was that recent? I didn't
It
see
was
that.
a day or two ago, yeah.
Okay.
And
Is Sweden not?
no, Sweden's not in NATO.
You sure?
Yeah, nor is Finland.
In my head, I always mix up Sweden and Switzerland for some reason.
Those are different places.
Yep.
Because Switzerland's definitely in NATO,
I
because that's
don't-
where they all meet. In
Right.
Switzerland's
Geneva.
also very
Switzerland's
neutral.
Very
about the whole
neutral.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they're a part of NATO. I think they just host the meetings.
But
Huh.
either way, Russia, Vladimir Putin basically said, "Hey, if you join NATO, we're going to war," which is, again, not a good look.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO because he doesn't want the United States to have an opportunity to set up base right outside his front door.
Right.
So I think from from a lot of information I've gotten, I think that Putin is using the NATO thing as a great excuse to invade and take over the area. And because as soon as he became president or whatever he's called in Russia, his goal was
Just
to
comrade.
Yeah, comrade Putin. Isn't that the equivalent of peasant?
It's
Basically.
it's like Grand Comrade.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Rob.
Master Comrade Putin.
So thanks for derailing me. I don't think his goal was to invade because of the NATO conflict. I don't think that was exactly it. I think it was his original thing he had in mind was to when he started being president was that Ukraine is his. Because he grew up with this idea that Ukrainians are Russian. They speak Russian, that's the time he grew up in, because after the Cold War, late 70s, early 80s, at that time, Ukrainians were still part of the Soviet Union, but they were there was heavy revolting, heavy resistance, and there was this big campaign to try to I don't know what the exact word for it is, but just to make them Russian, basically.
Assimilate.
There's a word that I heard someone use, and I can't remember the name of it. It starts with it's called Russification. That's what it is, Russification. It sounds really smart. Okay, cool. But they're trying to Russify the Ukrainians and just destroy their culture completely. And that's the mindset that he grew up with, that was the correct move. And can you look up how old Putin is real quick? He's
I'm on it.
he's late 70s, early 80s, right?
No,
No, he's not.
not even
Look
close.
this up.
I think he's late 60s.
He's maybe in his mid 60s, I think.
He's 69.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
So he's almost 70, right? So that is the end of a lot of political careers in that time.
No, it's not. That's a problem. in America.
Not for America, that's for sure.
So it's approaching the end, right? Like he's maybe got like 5 to 10 years maximum that he could like lead Russia potentially.
I mean, Strom Thurmond was a senator until he was like 146.
That's a senator, though. You're not the leader of a powerful communist regime that needs to stay like powerful and strong.
Hey, he's democratically elected. Okay.
So
That's fair.
I'm not a fan of Putin's, but I'm a fan of the fact that he's both the second and fourth president of Russia. And I'm also a fan that his middle name is Vladimirovich. So his name is Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, which
That's
is great.
Yeah.
And you said that nothing good could come of this, and that's true. And I certainly don't want to just make light of what is a very, very serious situation. But there have been a couple of things that have posted on social media that I have really enjoyed reading. Probably my favorite.
Before we get too far, I was going somewhere with his age.
I'm sorry.
You're good. So he's nearing the end of his presidency potentially. Like for him, the end is like potentially ending it in like 5 years, right? So he needs to end it on a note where he is doing something significant, something he can be remembered for.
Like Stalin.
And his remembrance, yeah, exactly like Stalin. So his remembrance is going to be reuniting the Soviet Union. So Ukraine is definitely not his last stop. He is going to sweep all through there and retake the OG Soviet Union.
I mean, so he's basically already got Belarus because
Right.
they're more or less like a puppet state for Russia. And as far as the stands go, any of the stands are you just kind of roll over them. So,
Except for Pakistan
well, you know what I mean.
and Afghanistan.
The former stands of the Soviet Union, fuck ass.
The Russian stands.
Yeah, the Russian stand. So,
Your mom is a Russian stan.
yeah, no shit.
That's true.
But I genuinely think that he's going to keep going. I think Ukraine is a start, and I hope that it doesn't go farther than that. But
I don't think it
Russia-
possibly can.
Yeah,
Like, there's way too many nuclear powers that are like, hey, fucking stop.
right.
Like, he's about to be completely exiled from the whole SWIFT system, which is the global, like, online commerce system. So soon, like, the entire Russian population won't be able to transact outside of the country
Unless they use Bitcoin.
unless they use Bitcoin,
That's
Which
a big
is,
pro for Bitcoin.
which most people don't have large amounts of.
It's verified on the blockchain. So
Yep. So, all right. Did you make your point?
Yeah, I'm all good.
I'm sorry for interrupting earlier.
Are
Yeah.
you finished?
I didn't mean to.
I am finished.
So now for us to talk about the meme culture that this has brought on.
Oh man, no.
So this part is not a meme, but it is something that I have enjoyed reading about. So did you guys hear about the Ukrainian woman who walked up to the Russian soldier
I
and
already know what you're about to say. Yes.
so she said, "What the fuck are you doing here? You're occupants, you're fascists. What the fuck are you doing on our land with all these guns? Take these seeds and put them in your pockets so at least sunflowers will grow when you all lie down here." So basically, you're all going to fucking die on our land, so put these sunflower seeds in your pockets so at least something good will come out of it.
Yeah,
That's fucking wild.
that's the national flower of Ukraine.
Yeah. So good on that lady. Like,
Yeah, totally. Did you know that Vitaly Klitschko is taking up arms to defend Ukraine?
I did.
Hell
He's
yeah.
the mayor of Kyiv.
He is. It's wild. He has millions of dollars, and he could punch Russia straight back to Russia.
Oh yeah.
God, I'd love to see him versus Putin in just a cage match.
Yeah, no. So I saw a thing saying that
Be very short.
they should have a
No shit.
they should have a homoerotic boxing match like in Rocky IV to decide who gets Ukraine.
yes.
I
Like
support
yeah,
that.
the American champion versus Putin.
Right.
Honestly, all of the Ukrainians that I like, any of these big like war stories that you're hearing from Ukraine, which I'm sure a lot of it is like maybe over exaggerated, some propaganda, but some of it's definitely not. And there's like verified like video and audio clips from it and stuff like that. And the soldiers that died defending Snake Island is just a wild, like, good for you guys. Like, rest in peace, obviously, but like,
What's that?
you haven't heard of this?
I haven't.
So there's a Russian warship outside of Snake Island, which is an island off the coast of Ukraine, and there were like 14 soldiers on this island defending it. And they'd been given strict order, like, hey, don't let them take the island. And this Russian warship rolls up and is talking to them over, like, communicating over radio.
Yeah.
And
5G.
yeah, and they're like, this is Russian warship. We will open fire. Surrender now is basically what the Russians were saying. And you just hear, like, from their communicator side, you just hear, should I tell him to go fuck himself? Might as well. I mean, they're going to open fire either way.
Right.
So then his response is, Russian warship, do you copy? And they're like, yeah. Okay, Russian warship, go fuck yourself. And that was the end. Like,
did they defend it?
no, they fucking died.
Oh,
They got obliterated by artillery strikes.
I still like that. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's intense. My goodness.
Yeah.
Shout out those guys.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Did you see that the morning after Russia invaded Ukraine, the official Ukrainian country Twitter account posted a cartoon that had a very large-sized Adolf Hitler, like, leaned over with his hand tenderly on Vladimir Putin's face?
That was Stalin.
Oh, was it?
I think it was
Yeah.
Hitler.
No,
Yeah.
that's
It definitely looks like Hitler.
It like he has a little Hitler mustache.
yeah.
Does Stalin have one of those too?
Stalin had a very large mustache, which is why I think it was Stalin.
I think this is Hitler.
I think it was Hitler.
Does he have a Nazi logo? Or is it like green and red?
It looks like Hitler.
I'm like
and then-
almost positive it's Stalin.
Well, either way, it was very funny, and I feel stupid if I was wrong, but I thought it was Hitler. And then they commented on it, said, "This is not a meme, but our and your reality right now."
It's pretty accurate.
More or less.
Can we talk about, is this President Zelenskyy? Is that his name?
Zelensky.
Zelenskyy,
Let's
I'm
talk
sorry.
about what the fuck he said.
Yeah. President Zelenskyy with his fucking quotes. First off, if you haven't seen one of his speeches, please, this is absolutely necessary. Go watch one of his speeches because he's very well spoken.
Well spoken.
Well spoken.
Rob is also well spoken.
Yeah. He has the smartest ideas. No, he's very well spoken, and all of the messages that he brings across are always just like, hey, I'm just one of the people here. I'm not talking to you as the president of Ukraine. I'm talking to you as a Ukrainian citizen. And it's always just the same message. Like, if you want to do this, like, we will defend our land. We're not going to lay down arms for you. We're not going to give you an inch.
Right.
And he's very famously been with soldiers on the battlefield, refuses to leave. And it's not like he doesn't have the opportunity to. The U.S. actually reached out and offered him asylum. They were like, hey, we'll airlift you out of here. We'll get you out.
Right.
Like, you and your family will be protected. And he said,
I need ammunition, not a ride.
not a ride. Yeah,
That's so good.
Fucking legendary.
absolutely. Just refuses to leave. He said, if I die, I'm going to die fighting for my country.
Right.
Which is wild. Like, you would never, I don't think in today's day and age, you would ever see something like that happening in America.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, we also haven't had an attack on our soil, like a ground assault.
I don't know that you would see that from our president, but I absolutely think you would see some American flag motherfuckers with like 2x4s and Miller Lights out there shooting at aliens.
Without
Absolutely.
questions.
God,
For sure.
I would love for all of these fucking people that drive like big trucks and are like, you send me to Ukraine and I'll solve the problem in 10 minutes. I wouldn't love for this to happen. I definitely don't want America to get involved with this, but if it does, I really want to see them going over and just seeing what this shit is all about.
I want to
'Cause
see
it's-
them airlift like all the F-350s to Ukraine
Yeah.
so that we could just have these colors don't run back windshields and stuff, just fucking taking on Russian tanks.
I do think we need to like clarify that there are some F-350s that are like farm trucks, and those guys are okay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but if you're in a lifted F-350 and you're like fucking rolling coal and you have a giant "Let's Go Brandon" flag on your car,
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
if the front of it has like an 8-inch lift and the back of it's like lowered.
do you imagine some fucking idiot
You ever
from
seen that?
Oklahoma driving an F-350 with a "Let's Go Brandon" flag flying over in Ukraine, just shooting out the window at people walking by.
All right, so fact or fiction, the Ghost of Kyiv?
I think it's not real. I think it's a really, really good story. And I want to believe because it's fucking badass, but I don't think it's real.
That's a really cool meme, the I want to believe thing where it does the X-Files, like, yeah, it's cool.
I don't know what you're talking about.
For those who don't know, the Ghost of Kyiv is supposedly an Su-35 airplane that has 6 confirmed kills, which makes him the first ace since World War II, which is a big deal as far as air-to-air combat goes. I don't think it's real. However, there's posters and videos and all kinds of shit of this one particular airplane flying around Kyiv, and there have been multiple Russian airplanes that have been downed in the area, so it is feasible.
Even if it's not real, like, I'm on board. Like,
same here.
Ukraine needs a hero.
I stand with the Ghost of Kyiv.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
So I did want to say, I don't think any of us fully will ever understand exactly what is going on in Ukraine, because we live in a country that's very, it's like completely ocean locked. Like, there's just ocean all around us. There's no real threat. Like, to our north, it's Canada. What the fuck's Canada going to do? To the south, it's Mexico. What the fuck's Mexico going to do? You know?
That's very insulting to Canadians and Mexicans.
Yeah, no shit.
Canadians have always been our allies. Thank you, Canada and Canadian soldiers. They can definitely do stuff in war. They have some of the best snipers in the game.
I'm just being real here. Just being real.
What the fuck?
So
I'm mostly just saying they're not a threat at all, because we're allies with them. We trade with them. Like, it's fine. Here in the U.S., we are very safe. Like, there's no real threats to having, like, boots on the ground, someone invading us. Obviously, like, there's stuff that's like 9/11 that's happened, stuff like that, but it's all very, like, small controlled situations, pretty much. Like, Ukraine has always had the threat of Russia. Like, there's never been a time in Ukraine where there's not been a threat to have their complete culture just erased and everything they know erased. So, I don't know. I just don't think any of us can really understand what it's like to be in a real wartime scenario. I don't know. I just have a lot of sympathy for Ukraine and everyone in that area in general. And Russians as well. I have a lot of sympathy for Russians because most Russians don't want this. Like, all the propaganda out of the Kremlin is like, yep, Ukraine's ours. They all speak Russian. Like, they should just be part of ours.
For the record, Ukrainians don't speak Russian.
Right. It's only like the border provinces and like those 2 provinces that are like quote unquote independent now.
Yeah. They speak it's a dialect based on Russian, and they use the Cyrillic alphabet, but that's
right.
It's very different. And there's a couple videos of Ukrainians actually like saying, hey, I'm going to say this in Russian so all you fuckers can understand it, which is awesome, by the way.
Ja Rule tweeted about this and said in all caps, war is not the answer. And then someone linked a short video clip from Dave Chappelle. I'm going to play that clip now. Hopefully you all can hear it.
I remember right around September 11th, Ja Rule was on MTV. That's what they said. We got Ja Rule on the phone. Let's see what Ja's thoughts are on this tragedy. Who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this, nigga? This is ridiculous. I don't want to dance. I'm scared to death. I want some answers that Ja Rule might not have right now. I think when bad shit happens to me, I'll be in the crib like, oh my God, this is terrible. Could somebody please find Ja Rule, get hold of this motherfucker so I can make sense of all this. Where is Ja? I need Ja Rule.
So I got a good laugh out of that.
Yeah, it was a good time. That and Kanye West just with Michael Myers just talking about how they need to donate to the funds to help these people. And Kanye just comes in with, George Bush does not care about black people. Fucking legendary.
Do you guys know that I was late tonight because I saw a car wreck on my way home from work?
Like, you saw it happen?
I did. I saw it happen live.
I never saw a car wreck happen until I moved to this town.
Do you guys know, you guys are all familiar enough with our area to know, like, where I work, right? Like,
Yeah.
the big intersections in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're always fucked up.
So
I think so. I've been to your work like once or twice.
the big one, they recently changed the traffic patterns where there used to be 2 lanes that go straight, and now there's only 1 lane that goes straight. And it really has always only been 1 lane that goes straight, but there was always a second lane there, so people just went straight through it anyway. And that's, I think, why they fixed it. And they fixed it by putting this like big fucking concrete barrier thing there. So now there's like just 1 lane, and on the right side there's this concrete barrier thing, and then on the left side there's like a big sign where there's like the stores and everything that are back there. So somebody was going straight through that intersection, and they started in the correct lane, and they should have just gone straight directly into the lane, but they veered to the left, and they just went straight into that fucking sign.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah, just and there were a ton of cars turning in the like lane directly beside them, so they nearly went head on into another
man.
vehicle in the other direction. So I don't know if they were like drunk or fell asleep or had a seizure or heart attack or
Isn't
what.
there an Applebee's on that corner?
Yeah,
They
There
probably came back from the Applebee's.
maybe they had a couple of QPs.
Probably.
Ew.
I hope not.
Don't
That's bad
QP
luck.
and drive.
Yeah, that's bad luck.
did you guys hear about the sanctions on Russia coming out of Germany?
I didn't.
We're back on Russia.
I mean, we're going to keep coming back every once in a while.
Yes, I heard some sanctions.
Everybody be sanctioning.
I mean, we know about the SWIFT thing already, but one of the biggest ones is coming from, of all people, Adidas.
What are they doing?
They've actually banned the export of tracksuits to Russia.
Man, that's a big move. I think Putin's gonna pull back now.
That's very funny.
The Russian people have really taken offense to this.
All the mobsters are like, what the fuck?
Where's Bert Kreischer when you need him?
Oh man, I can't wait to go see him.
You're going pretty soon, aren't you?
Yeah, it's it's a couple Sundays away.
You know what's even sooner than that?
Going to see Rent.
Cory and Josh's gay adventure.
Let's go.
Let's go.
What are you guys doing?
We're going to see Rent, the
Oh.
final tour.
Nice.
Broadway, off Broadway.
525,600 minutes.
No.
That's how many minutes
I'm not going to do it.
there are in 1 year.
There's nothing wrong
Do
with
it,
that.
Rob.
I support you guys.
Do it, Rob.
No.
Come on, Rob. You know you want to.
No.
You do. I can see it in your eyes.
It is a good musical, though. Rent is probably in the top 3 for me.
It's in the top 1 for me.
I just like Wicked way too much.
Rent's way better than Wicked.
I disagree.
I haven't seen that many Broadway musicals or musicals in general. I think I've only seen The Lion King and like actual Broadway in New York City. It's pretty great.
The Lion King is incredible
It is.
on Broadway, but I really wish my life were a musical. Sorry, Cory, go ahead.
Wicked is an abomination. It shouldn't exist.
How fucking
Wow.
dare you?
That's a hot take.
I'm a big Wizard of Oz guy and trying to humanize the villain. Fuck that shit.
The musical numbers in that show and the performances from the artist or from the performers within are almost second to none, in my opinion.
You
So
know who
I have frequently stated that opinion, and it's always a hot take for a lot of people. And my fiance is one of those. She was like, "How dare you? It's so good."
I agree.
And she loves Sleeping Beauty, right? So we go see Maleficent. And she's like, "Hey, I don't like how they humanized Maleficent. That's fucked up. She's pure evil." I was like, That's the Wicked take that I have.
I agree with. I mostly like Wicked from the musical perspective, like purely from the music and the performances, because I legitimately don't think Idina Menzel is better in any other production.
Frozen?
No,
She's better in Rent.
I disagree. I don't think there's any song in Rent that truly shows both her range and her just consistency. Like Defying Gravity specifically, with some of the highs versus some of the lows during the song, are just intense.
I would be willing to back off a little and say that Defying Gravity is a better individual song than probably any individual song in Rent. However, Rent is nothing but bangers from start to finish. And Idina Menzel absolutely does get to show what she's got in Rent. So Rent's better. But Idina Menzel is the, in my opinion, greatest Broadway performer of our age,
No
maybe of all
question.
time. Who's your number 2?
That's tough. It's probably the.
It's not as tough as you think because you're missing somebody. I'll give you a hint. He was
Is
in.
it? Is it? I know who you're gonna say.
Who?
Oh fuck! What's his name?
You don't know.
It's the guy. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda, right?
No,
Is that
I'm
what you're
not
gonna
counting him because like he's performed, but he's not as good of a performer, singer, actor as he is like a writer and choreographer. And that's not really what I'm talking about.
Kind of like Kanye is a producer, not a rapper.
say? Agreed.
This guy was in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
I don't know who you're talking about.
He was also in Baywatch.
Zac Efron? Is that who you're talking about?
No, he's
No.
talking about fucking. God damn it! What's his name?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
No, the
No,
German
not
guy.
the movie.
David Hasselhoff.
Yes.
David Hasselhoff.
David
Yeah.
fucking Hasselhoff. The Hofster.
Oh,
That was a total
goodness.
guess.
I think for me, if you're counting Savion Glover, I'd count him.
I haven't seen it.
He was in Stomp.
Yep. He's pretty good.
Yep.
I'm trying to make musical person.
I wish my life were a musical.
Yeah.
I would sing and dance everywhere.
It already kind of is. You do kind of sing and dance everywhere.
Yeah,
do.
but the difference is in a musical, everybody else sings and dances with you.
That's fair.
So I need you guys to step it up.
Oh, nice. Nice.
What's the song in Rent where they're all at the bar? It's like the big one.
AIDS?
No, Cory.
I think my favorite song from Rent might be Santa Fe or maybe One Song Glory.
Is it Our Tonight?
Happy Tonight.
La Vie Boheme is what I was referring to.
La Vie Boheme.
I'm about as familiar with Rent as I am with football.
So very familiar.
I'm missing out.
You should at least watch like the movie.
Yeah, I should.
It's on Plex.
Ooh, I have that.
We'll make a night out of it.
Okay.
You guys should do it tomorrow night.
We could do that. Yeah, we could have matching nights.
While
Okay.
we're watching the actual production,
We can do that.
you can watch the bastardized Hollywood Sun.
It's not that far off. Like it's not like Les Mis.
Yeah, Les Mis was, man, how different.
When that movie came out, everyone my age would not fucking stop talking about it.
It's you could do the same thing for my fiance. Won't stop talking about fucking Moulin Rouge to this day.
I love Moulin Rouge.
She's like, oh, you have to watch it. Baz Luhrmann is such a genius.
Ewan McGregor. Ewan
I think it's Ewan.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
He was good in that. So was Nicole Kidman.
Word. I've not seen it.
You should check it out.
Nah.
You guys seen Avenue Q?
I love Avenue Q.
I do too.
Yeah, it's a good one.
How did you get introduced to Avenue Q?
I saw it in an off-Broadway presentation.
My introduction to Avenue Q was a YouTube video with World of Warcraft characters.
Oh, wow.
I see.
The internet is really, really great for porn.
Yeah, that is a.
I've got a fast connection, so I don't have to wait.
I know exactly.
porn.
Because the
I have seen that.
The dude's doing the emote that's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I've seen that.
I
Fucking
browse all
torrent
day and
is-
night at the speed of light. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
There's
No, it's
Josh's
great.
singing for the episode.
No, I sang earlier. That's my second singing for the
Yep.
episode.
Thanks, Josh.
Don't worry, there's more to come.
Did you know that in Avenue Q, Gary Coleman is just a character in the in the play?
Wow. Okay. What does he play?
It's just Gary Coleman.
He plays Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Why does he always do that? Like, I remember as a kid, I was introduced to Gary Coleman because he was in Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
He was selling grills.
So, Jimmy, you don't know what Avenue Q is either.
I don't.
No, Jimmy.
So,
Is that the wrong Gary Coleman?
No, it's not Gary Coleman. That's No, Jimmy. That's the other grill guy.
What?
Oh my god.
I'm so happy that I made this
Are
mistake.
you thinking of George Foreman?
No. So I have this distinct memory of this Drake and Josh episode where this guy named Gary Coleman comes onto the show and he's selling grills. That's so funny.
I can't ask additional questions without it being problematic, so I'll just look it up later.
Okay, got it.
Wow. Hey, did you know that the George Foreman grill was offered to Hulk Hogan?
I did not.
It's quite the
I
sentence.
also didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he they called him with like the opportunity and left him a voicemail. He missed the call. And they were like, "Hey, we got this grill thing. It's going to be like a as seen on TV kind of thing. Could be pretty big. Let us know. By the time he got back to him, they were like, oh, no, sorry, we gave it to George Foreman already.
Was it going to be named the Hulk Hogan Grill?
Yeah, it was going to be the Hulk Hogan Fat Grill, whatever. Like whatever the George Foreman was originally advertised as, it was going to be Hulk Hogan in front of that instead of George Foreman.
That's incredible.
The lean, mean grilling machine or whatever.
I vastly would have preferred that.
And then they were like, so the grill's gone. That's off the table. You can't have that. But we got this blender. Do you want to try the blender? And he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. He was just trying to get his name out there and stuff.
Yeah.
And Hulk Hogan's response during this interview was like, you ever heard of a fucking Hulk Hogan blender? Yeah, no one has.
That's great.
I sure haven't.
So it really sounds like they're kind of trolling him, huh?
I mean, not really. I mean, they were genuinely trying, I think.
Have you guys ever like intentionally trolled people?
I mean, on the internet, sure.
Are we really just... This is the segue. Are you shitting me?
Jimmy does this shit all the time.
Go on.
So, I have a story of when I was pretty much a child. And I really want to put the disclaimer out there that I was a kid and really stupid at the time. I was pretty young, and I think I was like 12. So I didn't know any better, and I lived a very, very sheltered life growing up. I was on the internet playing Counter-Strike with my friends when I was growing up, as I've done for like a long time at this point. And one of my friends was talking about trolling, and this is back in the days on the internet when I did not know what that meant. So I was trying to get like a definition of what trolling was, and he was talking about like, you know, it's basically like playing a joke on people online and, you know, this and that. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I get it. And he showed me some examples, and I was like, understood. I'm going to try it out. So my first attempt at trolling didn't go too well. I was on Facebook, and I had just joined Facebook at the time, and I was really excited and added all my friends from school.
Right.
And this is pretty, like, this is kind of when Facebook like just came out, and it was like the big hip thing, and everyone was, you know, getting involved with it.
Is this like 2010, 2011?
No, it was earlier than that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because I graduated in 2011,
Got it.
It was like 2006.
Really?
Yeah,
That was
it
like
back in
first
the day.
Facebook, yeah.
So
He was still paying by the minute to access Facebook.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure you would have had to have had a .edu email address back then.
it might have been 2007, 2008. It was definitely not 2011, 2012. But anyways, besides the point, I was browsing Facebook, and one of the girls that I was going to a couple classes with at the time had gotten into a car accident that was definitely her fault. And she was like, don't text and drive and this kind of thing. And so her car looked like fucked up. Like, it was clearly like a pretty bad accident. She had to go to the hospital. So pretty serious situation. And my response in an attempt to troll her in the situation was to type all caps LOL on her public Facebook post. And I typed this out, hit enter, and it went off to the internet. Turns out, if you do that, if you're doing some trolling and you're on a public forum and you have your name attached to it, there are some repercussions involved with that.
Yeah, you have to do that anonymously, man.
So a bunch of people were like, what the fuck is the matter with you? And it just got worse and worse. And I was really excited because I was like,
Finally got my first troll.
yeah, fucking trolled, idiot. So I showed my friend, and I was like, dude, check this out. I did some trolling. And he was like, dude, what the fuck? You're not supposed to do that to people you know. You're not supposed to say that shit at all. And I'm like, what do you mean? This is just what you told me to do. And needless to say, I was not friends with, I think her name was Caitlin at the time. Was not friends with her in the future. And her boyfriend was like ready to fucking kill me.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, long story short, if you're doing some trolling, just, keep it light and don't do it to people you know.
So I have seen that LOL thing posted before, and it's always been older people, and I didn't understand why. And the older people think LOL means lots of love.
Yeah.
And it's so much funnier.
Yeah. See, that was my buddy's, like, reaction. He was just like, just say it means lots of love. Like, do something quick to recover it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, stupid fuck me was like made like a blonde woman joke as a response to this, like about like how women can't drive. So again,
that's new information.
Yeah. So again, don't do the trolling if you don't really know what you're doing, especially to your friends.
Yeah, I was waiting for that to be a controversial story because I was like, that's the build up for this.
Oh no,
pre-episode was made it sound like you committed an atrocity online or something. You're like, I don't know if I should tell that story.
Well,
It's not that bad.
I mean, at the time,
It's
like
not like she died.
it was pretty severe. She was like, she had to get surgery and shit.
Well, I mean,
But yes,
yeah, but
that would have been way worse if
if she died, they were like, the service of Caitlin, whatever, blah blah blah, is on Wednesday, and you were like, LOL, like,
LOL, women driving. Yeah, that would be
that would have made this story way worse.
right.
But
No, just a bit of trolling.
How long have you been on Facebook, Corey?
oh god, I think I joined in at 10, 11, somewhere in that area.
I just checked. My first activity on Facebook was in March 2005.
Wow,
Oh, wow. God damn.
You're old as fuck.
you're a Facebook boomer.
I definitely had to have an EDU email address at that time. And it's so cringy to go back and see the original posts. And I'm sure it will be like forever, but the status update used to start with your name automatically. So your status update was typically what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just like, is reading a book, is excited to see a special someone, is feeling blue. And it's just awful.
It's
to look
really
at.
bad. Yeah, I downloaded a Chrome extension that automatically goes through and deletes your Facebook history. I did that I started like a small business when I was like 18, and I was like, well, this shit can't be on here because I was using Facebook for advertising and just used a bot to delete it all.
Once it's on the internet, it's really never deleted.
It's true.
I just checked. October 2008 is when I joined.
Nice.
Good job.
My Facebook account doesn't exist anymore. Actually, that's not true. I had to remake it because of my fucking Oculus. Because you have to have a Facebook account
yeah.
for that shit.
Brought to you by Meta.
Yeah.
Oh, can we be buds?
We can be meta buds,
I mean, Facebook buds.
I guess.
You guys want to play a game?
Did you? Yes, but
Are we
hold
playing
on.
Florida, Georgia, Alabama again?
No, it's a new one.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
but hold on. Did you know that Mark Zuckerberg has told all of his employees that they have to refer to each other as metamates now?
Yes, that shit's so good.
Love it.
The funniest goddamn thing I've ever heard of.
Hmm.
All right, fuck you both. What's your game?
I
All right.
it.
So the game is this a Taylor Swift lyric or a William Shakespeare quote?
Dope. I'm down.
So
I'm going to be really bad at this.
the premise is pretty simple. I'm going to read something, and the three of you are all going to answer either Taylor Swift or William Shakespeare. There are no other options.
Can I instead say Tay or Billy?
Yes.
Perfect.
And then, based on popular vote between the three of you, with three of you, there should never be a tie. I will pick that, and we will find out if you were right or wrong.
Got it.
Are you ready for the first one?
I'm ready.
You and I are past our dancing days.
Billy.
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
Correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
And I'll stay, forgetting any other home but this.
Tay-Tay.
I'm going to say Tay-Tay.
I think it's Billy, but okay.
It was Billy.
Good job, Corey.
Yep.
All these people think love's for show, but I would die for you in secret.
Wow.
Billy.
That sounds like Shakespeare for sure.
Sounds like
but
Shakespeare,
I think
but
that's
it's probably
I think
Tay-Tay.
that's Tay-Tay.
I think it's Tay-Tay as well.
Tay-Tay.
There we go.
I knew we couldn't have three Billies
Off
in
the
a row.
new
but
album.
Love's
would
a
die.
fragile little flame. It could burn out.
Tay.
I'm going Shakespeare on this one.
That's tough. I don't know. Love's a fragile little flame. It could burn out. Tay-Tay.
shit.
Tay-Tay.
Let's fucking
Let's
go.
fucking go.
And all we are is skin and bone, trained to get along, forever going with the flow.
There's no way Taylor Swift wrote that.
Yeah, that has to be.
But going with the
Shakespeare.
flow, I don't think was a Shakespearean thing.
That's true.
I'm going
That's
Tay.
true. Fuck, that's hard. Going with the flow.
Shakespeare did invent like a lot of slang.
He did.
And a lot of words.
But going with the flow, I don't feel like dates back to the 1500s or whatever.
Imagine
the fuck Billy
inventing
was.
words that people use
Buddy,
every day.
I'm gonna say that
That's
is
fucking
I can't.
crazy.
so. I'm gonna say that's Shakespeare, but I think that is a modern translation of Shakespeare as opposed to the original text.
Going Shakespeare. Fuck.
Tay.
God damn it!
Man, why don't I am superior at this.
You are superior at this.
Sad hours seem long.
Billy.
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 Correct. Walls of insincerity, shifting eyes and vacancy vanished when I saw your face.
Billy.
I'm going to say Shakespeare, yeah.
Can you read it again, please?
Walls of insincerity, shifting eyes and vacancy vanished when I saw your face.
Yeah, that sounds like Billy.
Tay.
Wow.
Wild.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die.
Billy. Although that may be a lyric from Bad Blood, but I think it's Billy.
I'm going Tay.
That is absolutely William Shakespeare.
Okay. You're right.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, Tay doesn't really get violent.
So
That's fair.
the only reason I know that is because
Westworld?
in Westworld.
Yeah, I
they
knew
brought
it
that
too.
up
Westworld's so
constantly.
good.
And there's no way that Westworld based their entire first season's like big like quote
Yeah.
on Tay Tay.
I'm
That's
glad
fair.
you and I were on the same page on that one.
I forgot that.
You with your words like knives and swords and weapons that you use against me.
That's Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I think that's Tay.
Tay.
Correct. There was a star. I'm going to start over. Hang on.
I'm about to say that's it. That was the Bible. Jesus Christ.
There was a star danced, and under that was I born.
It's gotta be Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's Billy.
I think Shakespeare.
Correct. As a group, we got 7 out of 10 correct, but I'm pretty sure Cory got 9 out of 10 correct.
Yeah,
job,
I'm
Corey.
pretty sure I only missed one. Hell yeah.
I missed like 2.
Even with our 3 misses, we scored better than 42% of all other quiz takers.
Are you on Sporkle?
BuzzFeed.
Oh. Well, that's pretty neat.
Hell yeah.
We did it. That was a fun game.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Is there one for like Kanye West versus an actual schizophrenic man?
Is this line from a Shakespeare
The-
song or a Harry
Trick question.
Styles?
They're the same one.
Is this line from a Shakespeare sonnet or a Harry Styles song?
I don't know Harry Styles enough to judge that.
Which is why it's more fun.
I think we should do it.
Only a true genius can tell whether these quotes are from Ariana Grande or Shakespeare.
Let's go.
Okay.
I like that one.
Yeah,
We can do
all
that.
right.
I know a lot of Ariana. Let's fucking go.
Thank you. Next. That's Ariana Grande.
7 rings.
All right, we're going to save that for a future episode.
Pete Davidson's dick.
Did Ariana Grande do that too?
Yeah. She was like the original.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah. That was the first mark on his bedpost.
I thought that was Mac Miller. No?
That too. But after Mac Miller, then she went to Pete Davidson.
Wow.
Yeah. Like it was like almost immediate.
Pete Davidson has to have like a magical PP.
Dude, he has the biggest dong
Since
on
Tommy
this
Lee.
earth. Yeah. Like it's incredible.
Is that factual or?
There's no other explanation, dude. He bagged Kate Beckinsale,
Yeah, that's fair.
who's
That is
like
fair.
25 years older than him and just gorgeous.
Yeah, I wonder how that conversation went.
Just like, you look like you have a big dong. He was like,
Yeah.
he was like, dude. And then she was like,
Correct.
all right, we're going to do this for a little while, but then I'm going to leave. Whatever, I'm fine with that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I learned something tonight.
What'd you learn?
What's that?
Cops get gas at regular gas stations.
What is wrong with you?
Like, why would you think they get it anywhere else?
That's
I
the
thought
dumbest
they
shit
had,
I've
like-
ever heard.
A private cop gas station.
But like, what if they're out in the middle of fucking nowhere?
How have you lived this long and
I've
not
n-
seen a cop at a
I've-
gas station?
I've seen cops at gas stations. They're there all the time. They hang out in the parking lot. They walk in. They buy stuff. I've never seen a cop at the pump pumping gas until today.
How?
that is almost as bad as whenever I was a kid, and I just thought that like all of the produce and not produce, like the meat that came from the supermarkets were like just like animals that were on their way out anyways, and like they just like opportunistically like chopped them. They're like, "Oh, sorry, buddy, we got to put you down." And then that was like where all the meat came from.
Is it
Wow.
not?
No.
So I have
That's a bummer.
I have a misunderstanding that's worse.
Worse than the cops at the gas station?
Yeah, I was really, really, really young, to be fair.
Me too, to be fair. Like 36 almost.
Yeah, it's true. I was like maybe 30 less than that, so I was maybe 6. But shout out my mom on this one. We were in the living room of my childhood home, and there was a fireplace in there.
Shout out Jimmy's mom.
Yeah, shout out Jimmy's mom.
Shout out Jimmy's mom.
So there's a fireplace in the living room, and it was going because it was wintertime, and we just wanted some comfort. And for some reason, like 6, 7-year-old me was like, "What happens?" Like, you guys know like the stuff you line like showers and stuff with, caulk.
Yeah, I'm familiar with caulk.
So for some reason, my 6-year-old, 7-year-old brain was like, "What happens if you put caulk in the fire?" Except I didn't say caulk, I said cock.
Yeah.
So I asked my mom, "What happens if you put cock in the fire?" And my mom says, "What?
Hospital.
Put what in the fire?"
Hospital.
And I was like, "Cock." And I don't think I've ever rehashed this memory with my mom, so I'm really excited for her to come back into the Discord or text me directly and be like, "Oh yeah, you asked me what happens when you put cock in the fire." I can't remember if she was able to like figure out what I was trying to talk about. I think she did.
So this reminds me, it's very different, but it's on the same level.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when I was like a small child. I've never been a small child. I'm fucking huge. But whenever I was younger, I was 6 or 7 at the time. And I was kind of a rebellious kid. Like I was always kind of a shithead.
We should talk about your juvie experience at some point.
Oh, fuck. I really don't want to rehash that. But I was always kind of a shithead. And I got in trouble for something. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but I was like pissed. And I go outside, like my mom, like at the time, like kicked me out of the house. She was like, "Go outside and think about what you did." I did not want to do that, but I did. And I had a pen in my pocket, and the only thing that I could think of to like release the frustration that was inside of me was to throw this pen as hard as I could at the house. And unfortunately, it exploded.
Oh.
And ink went all over the side of the house, like real bad, big blue ink blots everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. But I was a kid, so I didn't actually say that. So anyways, I pretend like nothing happened. Because I was like...
That's what you do as a kid.
Yeah, I was like, maybe she won't notice. And...
they always notice.
Yeah, she noticed immediately.
Yeah.
And she was like, "What the fuck did you do?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, the ink that's everywhere. What is all this shit? And I was like, "I didn't do that." And she was like, "Then who did it?" And I described that this kid came into our yard, threw a pen at the fucking wall, and ran away. And she was like, "Oh yeah?" And I was like, "That's what happened." And she was like, "Describe the kid." And I was like, "Well, he was kind of bigger. He was like really tall. He had like dark brown hair that was really curly." I was just fucking describing myself. And she was like,
Did you have to clean it up?
I had to clean it up, and then Sergeant O'Malley fucking called me. So
Who's Sergeant O'Malley?
Sergeant O'Malley. So Sergeant O'Malley is Pete, my aunt's friend.
Oh.
But
Did he like scare you straight?
yeah, he was this Puerto Rican guy. His last name was not really O'Malley, but he called me up. I fucking love Pete. Pete's fucking awesome. He's this gay guy that's my aunt's friend. But Pete calls me up, and he puts on his like biggest like tough guy voice, which is not what he sounds like usually.
Does he sound like Nathan Lane doing John Wayne in the Birdcage?
I don't know what the fuck you just said.
Oh,
but,
man.
But probably pretty close to it. Yeah.
Corey said words.
Yeah.
Have none of you seen the birdcage?
No.
Oh, you guys have homework.
So he comes on the phone. And he's like, "This is Sergeant O'Malley with the police force, and I'm here to ask you some questions, okay?" And just goes into it, and I'm just like, "Oh, okay."
Why does he sound like a South Park character?
And so it was his biggest tough guy voice, and it fucking worked on me because I was like, "It was me." And anyways, I had to clean all that shit up, and I was terrified of Sergeant O'Malley until I was like 12 or 13, and she was like, "Yeah, this is Pete. He's Sergeant O'Malley." And I'm like,
You bitch.
"What?" He was like 5'6", this little Puerto Rican guy, and man, I miss Pete. I haven't seen Pete in a long time.
That story just like unlocked a memory for me, and I love when that happens.
Yeah, I love that shit.
I mean, that's what happened with Jimmy's story.
Yeah.
So let's fucking keep going down this rabbit hole.
Let's go down the train. So I lived in a very, very small town growing up, and on either side of me were two old women who were widowed, and one of them was 80, the other one was like 85 when I was a kid, so they were like real old. And in the backyard of both of the neighbors' houses, like we had these really weird lots that were somewhat narrow, like house plus driveway size narrow, but really, really long. So like very deep, long backyards. And on both sides of the house, or on both of my neighbors' houses in the backyard, they had long sidewalks that went the length of the lot. And one of my neighbors, if you go one past her house, one of my buddies growing up lived there, and he was the exact same age as me. He was born like 2 months before I was. So we were good friends growing up. And I can remember during the summer one time when we weren't in school, we decided that we wanted to make chop suey in one of my neighbor's backyards. So
Chops. What? Why?
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
How old were you when you decided you wanted to make chop suey?
Why in the backyard?
Did you hear the System of a Down song?
we call
Did that come out yet?
No.
That didn't come out yet.
That was way before
this was way before that.
That makes sense.
That came out when you were this age.
That's fair.
So
That's why it came into my brain.
So chop suey is just what we were calling what we were doing. We were making a soup concoction of some sort. And so beside the sidewalk, we basically dug this hole that like butted right up against the sidewalk. And we went through the neighborhood collecting all sorts of random shit to put in the hole. And then we were like stirring it up and making a soup out of it. We weren't planning to eat it. We just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You weren't planning to, but did somebody?
No, we didn't.
Oh, okay.
Was it
But-
cold soup?
We filled that with like
Obviously.
Okay.
literal dog shit
Oh.
and like all sorts of leaves and different types of dirt and rocks and like random trash and just
Just made a shithole.
yeah, like big time, and ruined part of her yard, and it smelled awful, and she could barely walk.
Oh
Oh
man.
boy.
And I mean, she could walk. I used to hate having to be babysitted by her because I'd have to go stay at her house and she didn't have a TV or anything.
Oh,
So there's
man.
nothing to do.
Yeah.
So my parents would just be gone for like 3 or 4 hours, and they'd come back and be like, "Do you have a good time?" Fuck no. Like I didn't do anything. But anyway, we made the chop suey, and it was like it turned out to be a much bigger hole than we intended it to be. And
Why'd you choose the neighbor's yard?
we didn't want to get in trouble in our yard.
You just
Yeah,
put the
that
shithole in the
checks
old
out.
lady's yard?
You know, logic.
Yeah. So, like, we rode our bikes all over the neighborhood. We went like great lengths to find like foreign dog poop and all sorts of stuff.
Foreign dog poop?
Yeah, like
Not local.
like another county over.
Like a Shih Tzu.
Like from Russia.
Yeah.
Putin poop.
Poo-poo.
God.
Yeah. So I remember it took a few days, I think, before she like came out to the backyard and found the shithole beside her sidewalk. And then I remember her like calling on the landline phone, my mom, who's right next door, and I'm in the kitchen, And I hear my mom like, yeah, Joshua. And I was like, who, me?
Oh no.
And
That's your full name?
Yeah.
It's not just Josh?
Oh, there's a ooh.
Oh.
Ooh, ah. Ooh, ah.
That's where I was going. I was leaning in for it.
Go ahead.
That's what I was trying for.
Ooh,
And so anyway, we had to dispose of everything that was in the hole after it had been like marinating in itself for a few days.
Oh my God.
And then we had to fill the hole and apologize. And I had to like mow her yard all summer.
Oh, because you made a shithole in her yard?
Yep. Chop suey.
It's pretty
Did
fucked
you-
up.
Did you empty the hole with your hands?
No.
Okay, good. Because that funk would still be there.
True.
You just unlocked a memory for me.
Oh my God, we're keep going.
So I was in Boy Scouts as a kid for like 3 months.
No, we shouldn't tell that story.
Yeah, Jimmy, that's gonna be a little dark for this podcast.
I wasn't assaulted by my scoutmaster.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Carry on.
So we were on this camping trip, okay? And I didn't know like fucking anyone at this camping trip. I was like, hell yeah, we're going camping. This sounds great. And it was great. It's a great time. So this is actually mostly about the first time I ever heard Chop Suey. First time I heard Chop Suey, we were at this pond camping, like on this guy's farm with the Boy Scouts. And these guys were like playing it on their phone, like the older guys in the scout troop. So I'm sure they were like 3 years older than me. So they were
The
like
cool kids.
Yeah, they were like 16 and I was like 13, right? So they were playing Chop Suey on their phone. I was like, yeah, this shit's great. And they were like, hey, I got some firecrackers. You want to throw it into this pond? There's frogs in here. And they just threw all these firecrackers into this pond and all these frogs come floating to the top when it explodes. Crazy shit.
Wild.
Is that the end of the story?
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow, okay.
It's just a
Wrapped it up
memory
quick.
I hadn't thought about since then.
Goodness. Well, all right.
Did you guys ever have a like WD-40 flamethrower phase growing up?
Absolutely.
No.
It was Axe body spray for me.
Yeah, it was just a random hairspray, not a WD-40.
Oh no, it was
Derby.
WD-40.
George W. 40.
No,
I think we've talked about it before, but is that not the highest form of television comedy? That scene where Hank Hill can't get the cap open off of a WD-40.
so he sprays it with another.
So he pulls out a smaller can of WD-40 and sprays
Really
the top.
good.
so
Yeah.
good.
Man.
They're renewing King of the Hill, by the way.
What?
Yeah, it's Bobby Hill. Is
What?
supposed to be like older, and Hank Hill is like Cotton's age.
Huh.
I hope it's good.
I
Me
do
too.
too. I really hope it's good.
It has to be good. They can't renew that with it being bad. 'Cause, like
Mike
people
Judge
burn
is
down.
in charge, so I have a lot of hope. Also, there's a new Futurama season coming out.
If Mike
Yeah.
I'm
Judge
not a
is
fan of that.
Yeah, I think that they should have just let that
They
sleeping
need,
dog lie.
yeah, they need to let that stay dead. And
Agreed.
Bender's holding out for more money.
Well, as he should.
You talking about Joe DiMaggio?
Yeah, dude, he's a party animal, by the way.
I think King of the Hill reboot's going to be great, especially if they bring up like current events, kind of like South Park does.
Do what?
Yeah.
Can you guys help me understand the point of strip clubs?
It's
Boobs.
It's the implication.
yeah, more or less.
All right, so hear me out. Hot take. I think strip clubs are stupid, and I'm not a fan. I think they should go away forever.
So
That's a lot of sex workers that won't have jobs anymore. Josh.
I don't believe in
man.
taking jobs away from sex workers. Here's my problem with strip clubs.
It's all the advertising and none of the product.
Yeah.
I have personally seen the product being in full use.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so
It happens.
if you just want to see nudity, porn is a much more effective vehicle.
It's different in person though.
But you're around other people, so maybe you're like doing
If you're fucking poor.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you're poor.
That's fair.
well, even if you're in the VIP lounge, you're being watched by the big
No.
gorilla guy.
No, you're not.
hard no.
All right. Well, I clearly don't have as much strip club experience as you guys, but
The
Yeah.
curtain closes.
I was
Yeah,
in
it does.
Portland for about 2 years, and the strip clubs there are wild. They have the most strip clubs per capita of any city in the country.
all right, but
I don't
like
think
if
that's right.
It is right.
that's what you're,
I think that's Miami.
No,
if
it's
you're
not.
going to
It's
have
Portland.
sex,
Look it up.
If you're going to have sex, why not just hire an escort?
because that's illegal.
It's a lot sketchier, yeah.
It's also illegal to pay for sex in a strip club.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
you
you're
aren't
in a
paying
legal-
for sex in the strip club.
Yeah,
though.
you're in
It's
a
just
legal
kind of
institution.
I've seen KG pay for sex in a strip club.
Yeah, but that's different. He is.
Is it?
Dude, you have to tell the story, by the way. That's the funniest shit I've heard.
Oh, yeah. Josh, you need to tell the
No,
story.
no, not that story.
He
I know
doesn't-
what story you're thinking of. You don't know the story that I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's even more exciting. I don't know either.
Oh man, it has nothing to do with sex
Right.
or
but,
sex workers.
But hang on. So if you go to a strip club and you pay someone, and the result of that is you have sex at the strip club, that is also illegal.
No, it's a side effect.
No,
From
you can't
mutually
have sex
consensual
at
parties.
the strip club.
I mean, you can.
I get that you can, but I'm saying that's illegal.
It's frowned upon, sure.
Lots of things are illegal.
Right. That's my point.
You torrent things all the time.
I do not. I haven't fucking torrented anything since like 2009, you plebe.
True.
He was
also,
so offended by that.
I saw
comment.
LimeWire on your computer, bro.
What is this? Like fucking torrents? How about you torrent this dick?
Like Josh is just like, fuck you, Jimmy.
This happens also every episode. You sing and then you say, "Fuck you, Jimmy."
So
so
you say things that require a response of "fuck you, Jimmy."
Yeah, it's great. Everyone has a good time except for me.
so
Oh man.
just to talk about how I can be wrong sometimes. It's not very often, but it does happen. Portland is number 1 per capita strip clubs. Miami's number 4. Tampa's number 2, which is fucking hilarious.
Makes sense.
Mom's Venus,
Fayetteville,
baby.
North Carolina's number 3.
I was gonna say Asheville. I was gonna say Asheville.
That sounds gross.
Fayetteville, North Carolina. Fayetteville.
Asheville has a lot of strip clubs too.
Do they?
Yes.
I would like to go to a Nashville strip club. Sounds like a good time.
Probably a lot of weird chicks there.
Have I told you guys about my strip club experience, my first one?
I think you may have mentioned it.
I think I did, actually. Yeah, it was in the first few episodes. I
Yeah,
think.
it was not in San Francisco because you weren't here. but
Yeah,
it was
it was-
shortly thereafter.
Yeah, my girlfriend got all the attention, and I got none.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah,
Because strippers feel less threatened and girls get far more excited.
I was into it. It was fine.
Yeah, it's I had a very similar experience on a Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
My then girlfriend, now fiance, we were at a TGI Fridays and we were drinking a bunch of margaritas,
As you do.
as you do on the Cinco de Mayo. My fiance was wearing a Mickey Mouse hat. It said Mexico on it, Mickey Mouse ears, Mexico across the top. It was like a little sombrero action.
That's very bizarre.
We we went through this thing where like we tried to do themed outfits for every holiday. So like I was wearing a poncho on
Okay.
the Cinco de Mayo. Turns out we were just low key racist.
Right?
But
Times were different.
I mean, yeah, sure. We'll go with
People adapt. People learn. It's fine.
that. Whatever. I just think it's funny.
It is funny.
But we end up going to our local strip club in Panama City, and it is on a Tuesday. And at this certain strip club, we called it Free Titty Tuesday
Nice.
because if you had a local ID, there was no cover.
Oh.
So we walk in on this Tuesday, and my fiance immediately goes up to the stage. She's having a great time, and she understands what T-Pain meant. She fell in love with a stripper.
Oh. That'll happen.
And her stage name was Mulan, and my fiance was just feeding dollars at the stage, right? And Mulan is like, "Oh my God, I love your hat. Can I wear it?"
Oh, yeah.
And my fiance was like, "Yeah, sure." So she takes off this Mickey Mouse hat and she's got it up there and she's doing her little fucking dance or whatever. And then she like bends over in front of my fiance and she like reaches out and touches her. Bouncer comes over and he's like, "You need to control your fucking girl, blah, 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 blah." And I go, "Get back here." She's like, "What did I do?" I was like, "There's literally one rule at a strip club.
Yeah.
You can't touch them."
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, she was touching me." I was like, "That's allowed. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
You do not cross the line. You can't do that."
Right.
And she's like, "Well, why?" I was like, "Because you fucking, it's the law. You're like, you can't, it's the one rule."
Right. They didn't give a fuck at the strip club I was at.
So there are strip clubs that exist like that. Like I went to Mons Venus in Tampa
Yeah.
and I was getting my first lap dance there. And the chick was like, you can touch. And I was like, no, I can't. And she's like, yeah, you can. And like this is like you said, you got the grill of people watching you always. Like they didn't have like a normal like VIP area. You had to pay like a lot of money to go to the VIP area there. And I just didn't believe her. And she grabbed my hands and was like, no, really, and like put them on her. And I was like, oh. Okay. And was like looking around, like waiting for somebody to like come over and just fucking punch me in the face.
Just sock you, yeah.
But it never happened. It was a magical experience.
Sounds like it.
Did they feel real?
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah, let's get back to Josh's argument. Strip clubs are fucking awesome.
why
Fuck
not,
you, Josh.
Why not just hire an escort, go get a rub and tug? Like,
I don't even want that. I just want like I don't know.
what if you just want to? If you don't want that,
I don't even want to go to a strip club. I just think it's fun sometimes.
Yeah, it's like going to a bar, but there's also boobs.
Right. Shout out Jimmy's mom.
I don't like strip clubs either. I don't hate strip clubs, but I don't like them.
The thing that I don't like is that it feels like the most ludicrous way to waste money to me.
Sure.
You buy NFTs.
I mean, so far it's not been a waste.
Oh man,
That's fair.
Josh is profitable.
Sorry, I had to slide that in.
Just as a heads up, I'm very sorry. As a heads up, going from Bud Light Next to Miller is fucking jarring.
it really kind of is. So, little context there. We were drinking Bud Light Next. Josh purchased a 12-pack. It's a new product from Anheuser-Busch. It's called Bud Light Next.
Fuck Anheuser-Busch.
Fuck Anheuser-Busch.
More or less. It has 0 carbs, though, which is monumental in the beer community.
Intriguing, to say the least.
Without a doubt, because as we've documented in the Discord, which you can join by going to discord.gg/appleboys.
Nice.
We are documenting Rob and Josh's, mostly Josh's, Rob doesn't check in very often, the weight loss challenge. And so obviously cutting back on carbs is a big part of that. And we were curious. So we give it a shot. It's worth the 2.6 carbs.
I
to
think
drink
it is.
Ultra.
I
And it's
agree.
worth the 3.2 carbs to drink Miller Lite.
After drinking like just 2 of them, I'm on board. This shit's pretty great.
It tastes like the LaCroix of beer. Like it tastes like it was canned in a factory near beer.
Yeah, I am a LaCroix guy. So
I think-
I'm on board.
I was going to say, I think you guys misunderstood each other because Cory is very, very clearly anti
He
Bud Light
is,
Next.
yeah.
And you're saying that you actually like it.
No, he likes it.
I don't
No.
dislike it, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to like buy more of it.
I'm not going to buy more of it either. But I've grown accustomed to it. It's not bad.
For some reason, Bud Light Next, and then immediately switching into Miller Lite tastes like salmon.
I didn't get that
That's not
sensation.
good.
I have that right now, and
Can
it
I
is strange.
try this combination?
Here you go. What do you think?
Oh my god.
Do you taste salmon?
I don't know if I would have said salmon if you hadn't had planted it into my brain, but undoubtedly salmon.
Really?
Undoubtedly salmon.
That's fantastic.
That's a lot.
Do not combine these. Don't combine the milks.
Yeah. Like, there are some beers where you can, like, start with one and then switch to another and it's good, or even, like, mix them together like a black and tan.
Right.
This is not one of those
No.
situations.
It also has like a more of a piss aftertaste than usual.
Salmon piss.
Yes.
What would you put in a black and tan?
Probably harp? No, bass.
Bass?
And
Guinness?
Guinness? Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So when I go to Epcot and I'm drinking around the world and going to the different countries, I like to go to that country's bar or eatery. And in that area, most of the people who work in the different countries are from the country that they're representing.
Usually.
Indentured servants.
They're being paid to be cast members.
Yeah, more or less.
Indentured servants.
So
It's a caste system.
Because they're casted into that role.
in England, there is a pub called the Rose and Crown Pub. And I went into the Rose and Crown Pub and I spent some time with a British bartender. And one of the things I like to ask when I go to these places is, what would you drink back home? Because I want an authentic experience. And he says, it's off menu, but what I would order is a black and tan. And he described it to me. I said, it sounds great. Tried it. Was okay. Pretty good. So now when I go to the Rose and Crown, if I want a genuine British experience, I have that, right? And this is going to sound kind of weird, but one of my bucket list items is I want to be like drunk for a weekend in a genuine British pub, like small, cramped, just stereotypical British pub. And I have a buddy who is in one of the NFT projects that I'm in, and he's from the UK. And I was telling him about this the other day, and he was kind of going along with it, but I could tell like something wasn't quite right. So I was like, is that a drink that you guys drink over there?
Oh, no.
And he was like, oh, hell no. Like,
Oh, you
If
got fucking trolled.
if you ordered that, they probably wouldn't even serve you. I had to look it up to see what you were talking about.
Oh, my God.
And he's like right in the heart of London. And that really hurt my feelings.
That's
And-
so funny.
And then later,
Wow.
he was like, I actually remember now that I think we used to have those at like high school parties.
That's incredible.
Just rubbing it in. So
That guy fucked you so hard.
yeah, don't believe what you hear at Epcot. And fuck black and tans.
So when you think of like British beer, like what's the first thing that comes to mind?
I don't even think of
British
anything.
beer?
Yeah, British beer
Can't even name
or
a British
English beer. I don't know. Fuck.
Old English.
No. Fuck.
Old
What's it
English.
called? I haven't had it in a really long time. It's a brown.
Newcastle.
There you go.
Newcastle.
Newcastle is the first thing that comes to mind for me.
Never had
Yeah,
a British
that's
beer,
it.
I don't think.
It's good.
Okay.
Newcastle's delicious.
It's a nut brown
yeah.
You know what my favorite Irish beer is?
Guinness.
Negative.
You're wrong. Whatever it is, you're wrong.
I disagree. Guinness is fine.
Harp.
Smithwick's.
Smithwick's.
Which is not Guinness.
Smithwick's?
That's the other one.
Smithwick's.
That is, if you're American, that's how you say it.
Smithwick's.
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 I fucking hate you. It's a delicious red, and I went to a local Irish bar, and everyone fucking orders Guinness at Irish bars when you go to an Irish bar in America.
Especially on March 14th. Shout out St. Patty's Day.
It's March 17th.
It's March 17th.
Whatever, bro.
So
All right.
Same difference.
Anyways, I went to an Irish,
it's actually
Pub
3 days
here.
difference.
It's true.
and I ordered a Smithwick's. Like specifically, I said it like that,
Smithwick's.
and she was fucking enthralled. She was like, "Oh, laddie, you know what you're talking about."
Hell yeah.
She did not sound like a leprechaun, but that's as close as I can get.
Okay.
First time I ever had alcohol was in Ireland, and it was Guinness, and I was 14.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a great time.
Guinness is so good.
I fucking hated it.
You were how old?
I was 14.
You can drink it like 14 in
You can drink
Ireland,
it like
Britain.
7 in Ireland.
This is not a shout out Jimmy's mom moment.
This is a shout out Jimmy's dad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not a Jimmy's mom thing.
Uh-oh.
Jimmy's dad ordered the Guinness because he was like, fuck it, we're in Ireland. He didn't say fuck it because he's very conservative.
Why'd you say that so menacingly?
Just had a frog in my throat.
Yeah, okay.
They're bad guys.
No, they're not. We like all the types here.
We do. We may come off differently, but I have no political affiliation.
I think we should just burn it all down.
Let's go,
I
Brandon.
agree. Fuck the two-party system.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys want to know what Cory was talking about earlier when he said I need to tell the story?
I do.
Can I preface it?
Yeah.
So
Please preface it.
we were at lunch earlier, and there was a radio advertisement for a morning show. It was like, hey, what is the craziest thing you've done in a work vehicle? And somebody was like, oh, well, I can tell a story about that, blah, 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 blah. You shouldn't do donuts in a work vehicle and blah, 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 blah. And then Josh says, KG should call in for this.
Why is that?
Is this like a guy you used to work with or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a local legend. He's probably the reason I met my wife, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'll save that story for another night if you'll remind me, and I'll tell that story. But
That's exciting.
I wouldn't know my wife if not for KG.
We need to hashtag bring KG back.
So, like Cory said, I said that KG should call in. And the reason for that is because he was in a position for about 3 or 4 years in which he drove a company vehicle, and he worked for the same company as me. And he spent the better part of 5 days a week, every day, driving around in this van. It's like a Ford E350 type van or a Chevy something, literally trying to punch a hole through the ceiling of the van. He would just fucking drive around all of his might while he's driving, just pow, 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 pow,
What?
pow, 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 pow.
No. Why?
Because he's a fucking crazy man.
For reference, KG used to be an amateur MMA fighter.
But why would you punch a van?
He
'Cause he's
wanted to
fucking
punch a
crazy.
fucking hole in it because he's crazy. He also all right. So
I fucking love KG.
I've never met this person.
Cory and I were like driving after I told him this story, and we pull up at a red light directly beside this car that's been like dented in, like it got rammed in the side, and I was like, that's what the fucking roof of KG's van looked like, but like on the inside. It was wild. But there's this neighborhood where I'd say it's where the old money is in town. Right?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So you got new money and you got old money, right? This is where the old money is.
Right.
And inside this neighborhood, there is like big, expensive old house, and then like a street, and then like a little median area that's well manicured with trees and grass and a sidewalk, and then another street, and then the other side of the street where big, old, expensive houses are. And frequently, all of the rich, attractive women run through this neighborhood, like on a daily basis.
Okay.
So KG would frequently spend 3 or 4 hours of his shift driving up and down this road, just making circles, punching the fucking ceiling of his van, watching these women run.
You think he would like...
And eventually our company got a complaint that the company vehicle was like in the neighborhood every day for hours, but it was never at anyone's house.
Oh my God.
So they had to like track it down and find out who it was, and there was this whole investigation.
There's just a man cruising the streets, punching the roof of his vehicle.
Just punch it away.
So, well, what was the aftermath? Does anyone know?
What do you mean? Like
it,
were there any consequences?
No, was there a hole?
No, he never broke through. It was badly dented. It looked awful, but he never broke through.
Is that van still in service?
I don't think so.
Oh man, I wish it was.
No, I'm pretty sure that when they found out what had been happening, I don't know what happened.
They ship it off like a Catholic priest.
Yeah, I guess. But the worst part of
man.
the worst part of all this is he was in a lead position and had an apprentice at all times, and they would hire these new people, and
Oh my God.
they would train with him.
They just think that's what the job was. You just punch the ceiling and watch old people walk around.
He would not give them any sort of like time to get to know him or anything. He's just fucking day one. What's up, buddy? Bang, 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 bang.
That doesn't even sound real.
Why would I make this up?
Like, I know you're not, but
If
that's
you
incredible.
knew him, it's absolutely believable.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like we joke about Rob's purple power drink, but KG was mainlining cocaine off of stripper's ass right before his shift.
That's 100% real. That motherfucker is crazy.
That's incredible.
I fucking love KG.
Oh man.
Yeah.
KG is like, if I went down like the dark path,
Yeah.
it would be me.
That sounds terrifying.
Like, you know how there's like a tree, Like, imagine a tree.
Okay, I'm imagining a tree.
With all the branches.
Got it.
And you've got, like, the good to the left and the bad to the right.
Sure.
Like, I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I've chosen some bad ideas. I've chosen some good ideas.
Choosing is not a word.
He went straight right.
Got it.
Straight to the bad side. It's just anything you could possibly imagine that was
So you're
bad.
saying the right's the bad side?
I am.
I knew KG before he chose the dark path. He wasn't always this way.
What changed him?
I can't get into his personal details, but he went through some shit,
Okay.
Yeah.
and he did not cope well.
Got it.
That shit happens, man.
He did not coke well.
Well,
He coped well.
he coked well, that's for sure.
Every day.
Every day.
I miss that guy.
I do too, man.
He's not dead. Like,
I know, but
you
I've
guys
seen
can
him-
call him.
I've seen him recently, like within the last month and a half.
As we bring the podcast to a close tonight, I think there's a couple things that we need to get updates on. So, as many of you know, Robert and I are engaged in a high-stakes tattoo bet involving the loss of weight, with the loser being forced to get the Appleboys logo tattooed on their body permanently. So, Rob, you haven't been telling us in the Discord very frequently how you're doing. Could you tell the people now how things are going?
It's not fucking good.
What do you think the biggest problem is?
I keep getting high and ordering pizza.
Yeah, you should stop that.
I'll try to get high and have grilled chicken prepared.
That's a better plan. I had been doing very, very well. Lost 20 pounds since January 9th. But
It's awesome.
as happens sometimes, I've been very, very stressed this week, especially the last few days, and I've been eating my stress and drinking.
Oh, no.
So I've had I had pizza today for lunch, and I've had beer pretty frequently over the last 5 days. And the biggest failure for me this week has been my strategy to limit my calories has been intermittent fasting. So I've only been eating from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day. And I've been very, very diligent about that and haven't, like, breakfast is something that I really, really enjoy, and I haven't been doing that on my way to work. But this week I've eaten breakfast like every day.
Oh, man.
Chicken biscuit.
No. There's actually, yeah.
Chicken biscuits are the shit, man.
No.
I fuck with a chicken biscuit.
But actually, yeah.
I could have that for like
so,
every meal.
So hang on. When you said chicken biscuit, I initially thought of a fast food chicken biscuit like Bojangles, Hardee's, Chick-fil-A, something like that. And I didn't constitute what I've been eating for breakfast as a chicken biscuit because it's a gas station chicken biscuit.
Oh, man. That's like,
Buddy, if you're going to do it, you might as well go all in.
that's rock bottom, bro. Gas station chicken biscuit?
I kind of like
Yeah.
them.
Oh,
the
my
fuck?
God.
No, so I go to a local gas station that's near where I drop my son off in the morning, and I typically get one sausage biscuit, one chicken biscuit, and one typically low-cal or zero-cal energy drink to start my day. But on days that I'm fasting, which I was doing so well with, it's water only until 12 o'clock. So,
Just for the record, if you do like a 0-calorie energy drink, that still counts as fasting.
no way.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Does it really?
Yeah, there's no caloric content being input to you.
Well, all right, so hang on. These zero-cal energy drinks, though, they're deceptive because they put the 0 on the front of the can in the same logo type as the calorie intake thing, but that's actually saying 0 sugar. If you look at those cans on the side, most of them are 10 calories per can.
Oh.
Even if it's 10 or less, that doesn't fucking count.
I think what you're saying makes sense in the sense of, like, wanting to limit caloric intake, but I think there's also some science behind your metabolism and, like, how long you go between fasting versus breaking your fast. And I'm pretty sure that things like that would trigger the breaking of the fast
I mean,
from a metabolic standpoint.
with that logic, black coffee should not be allowed because it does have caloric content to it. However, if you read basically any guide to intermittent fasting, it absolutely allows black coffee.
Yeah, but do you know what black coffee doesn't have in it? Like
Artificial sugar?
beta carotene and like
In cock 10.
just all these like fake, probably like really bad for you things.
I mean, that's probably true, but that being said,
I appreciate that you're trying to justify my ability to drink 0-cal energy drinks in the mornings, but I really shouldn't. I should be doing water and not eating until noon.
I don't count 0-calorie energy drinks. Same thing with like diet soda and stuff like that. Like I don't think it exists. And whenever I'm like really like hardcore on the diet, it literally doesn't matter. But that being said, if you think water is going to be better for you, then by all means go for it.
Cool. So you're going to get back on track this week?
I'm going to fucking try to.
There is no try. There is only do.
I like that a lot. Please keep that
That's the best Yoda voice I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was like a hot cue that you had on the mixer or if that was Josh.
in. That was Josh trying to like.
That was Josh?
It sounded like he was trying to hold back a poo.
I really have to shit right now.
That's how I felt about it.
Thanks for joining us on the Appleboys podcast, and we're going to end this the same way we end every episode.
Happy tonight. Happy tonight.
Happy tonight, everybody.
Happy tonight, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Viva Ukraine. Fuck Putin.
Fuck Putin. Happy tonight.
Happy tonight.
Happy tonight.